Chotu sat on the worn wooden stool, whittling a small piece of wood with a dull knife. Dust motes danced in the single shaft of sunlight slicing through the crack in the mud wall of his home. The air hung heavy with the scent of wood smoke and damp earth. He wasn't unhappy. Not exactly. It was simply quiet. Too quiet. His small home, barely bigger than a storage shed, felt vast and echoing in the stillness. His only companion was the rhythmic chirping of crickets outside. Suddenly, a high-pitched voice pierced the quiet. Chotu, Chotu. Bilu's voice, bright and insistent, called from outside. Chotu looked up, a small smile touching his lips. Bilu, his younger sister, was a whirlwind of energy, a stark contrast to his own quiet nature. He carefully placed his half-finished carving on a stool and went to the door. He pushed open the creaking wooden door, revealing Bilu standing in the dusty courtyard, her bright eyes sparkling with mischief. She held a small, brightly colored bird in her hands, its tiny wings fluttering frantically. "Look, Chotu, I found it!" she exclaimed, her voice brimming with excitement. The bird, a tiny sunbird with iridescent feathers, chirped weakly. Chotu gently took the bird from Bilu's hands, his touch careful and gentle. He examined it closely, noting a small scratch on its wing. "It's hurt," he murmured, his voice soft. Bilu's face fell. "What do we do?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Chotu knew what he had to do. He carefully crafted a small splint from a twig and some soft cloth scraps, securing the bird's wing. He then fashioned a makeshift cage from branches and leaves, a tiny sanctuary for the injured creature. He placed the bird in his new home and carefully placed it near the single window of their house. Over the next few days, Chotu and Bilu tended to the bird, feeding it small drops of water and crushed berries. Slowly, the bird began to recover. Its chirps grew stronger, its movements more confident. The quiet of Chotu's small home was filled with a new sound, the cheerful chirping of the little sunbird.